This video is for men. I'm speaking to men. I'm addressing men. So if you're a woman and you watch this video and something doesn't set right with you in my language or my tonality, just know that I'm addressing men in the way that men want to be spoken to, or at least in the way I would have wanted to be spoken to when I was a young Catholic dating man. In this video, I'm going to tell you 3 ways to tell that she is not the one if you are dating and you are a Catholic man. The first and the most important, and this one is absolutely indispensable. If I were dating again, I would not even consider a woman who failed to meet this test. Even if she was perfect in every other way and a practicing devout Catholic, if she failed this test, I would not even look at her. Does she have a devotion to the Blessed Virgin Mary? If she does not, that is bad news, and I do not recommend pursuing a relationship with her. Or at the very least, is she open to developing a relationship to the Blessed Virgin Mary? Because if you're going to be a wife and a mother, you need a role model, and you need the Blessed Virgin Mary in that spot. God has so ordained in today's day and age that nobody receives grace and nobody is saved without the intercession of the Blessed Virgin Mary. All of the spiritual writers in the Catholic tradition say that devotion to the Blessed Virgin Mary is a sign of predestination. This is indispensable for your marriage because Our Lady is the Queen of Peace and the Queen of Families, and you need her to be the Queen of your family if you're going to have a domestic church, a household that raises good and holy children, and that's what marriage is for. So if she does not have a devotion to the Blessed Virgin Mary, or at the very least is not open to developing one, it's bad news. Get rid of her. Second thing, and this is less of a red flag and more of a yellow flag, but it's really important, that once we get married, our conversation levels drop by about 30%. When you're dating and you're constantly with the person and you're enjoying your time together and there's still that novelty and that honeymoon stage, then things go really, really well. But if she's doing this and doing this constantly, this is something that you need to address. It's maybe not an absolute red flag, but it's very much a yellow flag, and that is constant sarcasm. If you're dating somebody and they're constantly making snide remarks and kind of picking on you in a way that's cute, right? There's a level of flirting there. But once you get married, all of those things that may have seemed cute while you were dating now may become sources of annoyance. And that's why Jesus gives sacramental graces for people who are married, because he knows how difficult it is to live with any person, even if they're wonderful and beautiful and smart and holy. It's difficult to live with the same person over and over again, day in and day out, for 50 to 70 years until both of you die. So those remarks right now that may seem funny or cute are going to start to stab like daggers once you're married and once you've been married for a while. Because men are the heads of the household. We are the kings of our houses, and we deserve and should, to a certain extent, demand respect. And if your wife is constantly making snide comments, constantly being sarcastic and undermining your authority, that's going to damage your relationship, and it's going to hurt the way that you view yourself as the head of the household. And it's also going to impact the way that the children view you in the future. If the children's first example of how to treat dad comes from mom being sarcastic and snide, then what are the children going to learn? They're going to learn, oh, I can be sarcastic with dad and that's okay. No. This is something that's fixable, but if you are experiencing a relationship with a woman who's constantly being sarcastic, address that and say, hey, we may need to cut back on this because it's not good for us long term. And the third thing, and this is incredibly practical, and this is going to be something that you have to address at some point if you want to have a long and beautiful, successful marriage. Because it's so easy in today's day and age to make this mistake and to fall into what everybody else is doing, and then you end up like everybody else. But the third way that you can tell that she's not the one is if she doesn't take care of her health at all. This is not a vanity metric. This is not a, oh, you have to look so good to date me. Oh, you have to be under this % of body fat to date me. No, it's not that at all. But in today's culture, if you just eat what everybody else eats, you're going to end up unhealthy and unenergetic and unable to be the mother or the father that God is calling you to be. You have to put an intentional effort towards being healthy and maintaining your physical fitness, because it takes a lot of energy to be a mom. It takes a lot of energy to be a dad. You're going to need to be healthy in order to take on those challenges well. And if you're still watching this video all the way to the end, thank you and God bless you. And I just want to add this, and this may be the most important thing in this entire video. If you want to discern marriage well, you have to pray 5 decades of the Rosary every day. Make sure that you are practicing that devotion, and if you're looking for a sign or looking for some encouragement to start, this is it. Whether you're a man or a woman, pray 5 decades of the Rosary every day, and it's going to expedite the process and be more pleasing to our Lord. And if you want to join me and a group of other men in praying the Rosary daily and in conquering our vices and freeing ourselves from our addictions, then check out the link in the description, and I'll see you there. And if you want to know my 3 most practical tips on how to find a Catholic spouse, then check out this video next.